Hello, everyone. Good day. Welcome to Cyber Witch, your online resource for spiritual development. We post videos every week and also go live. Thanks so much to everyone for joining us today. And please hit like and subscribe to help the growth of the channel. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. It's so exciting. And so Vermilion and I have been doing these live streams together for some time. And I have had the joy of living with him. So I know all the things that he does. And so I thought today, let's just let my boyfriend open the gateway for all of you so you can understand the Violet Gateway and all of the work that Vermilion does, because it is so fascinating and important. So take it away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So yeah, I mean, a little background. I mean, I've been on here with you several times, but I usually only talk about subjects, not myself. So it's I'm usually not a person to talk about much about myself, but the Violet Gateway has been really a rebirth of an old website that I used to do a bunch of workshops and meditation classes in person, and kind of back when MySpace was a thing, like the videos, it kind of puts where the date was around the MySpace time. And when that website got lost on the server, some weird stuff happened. We don't really have to get into it, but some really weird anomalies happened to get that thing taken down. I created the Violet Gateway on a more secure thing, and it's been many years in its making, and it's become something that I'm personally very proud of, because it's become things that I could dream them, but I didn't think they were going to come to. So it's been quite the interesting experience. And I figured today we'll kind of go through the website, because it might just seem like a lot of books and things and stuff like that, but there's a lot to learn on it. And I feel people kind of, I'm a bit archaic in some of the things that I do. So it gives us a way to be able to explain really what's going on over there and get people understanding kind of what the mission is overall, so we will go kind of through the website and have open discussion,
and get into the gateway.
Yeah, let's get into the gateway. And if anybody has discussion or questions about things that we've talked about in the past and other lives and stuff like that, I mean, we're always open to chit chat with
Yeah.
it, so.
Or if you have an important question that you just wanted to ask us today during the live, feel free to ask it. And I really wanted all of you to see the different work that Vermilion has been doing. There's so much, and you also work with a select few other people and publish their work as well. And so it's really exciting and very powerful stuff. So we're going to check it out.
It's growing, and it's great to have an amazing crew, I guess you could say, behind it, and other authors and stuff like that be part of it. It's really phenomenal.
Oh wow!
Gifted 5 cyber.
Hoot hoot, Chris Albert. Thank you for gifting 5 Cyber Witch memberships to people.
Yes,
thank you.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll kind of go through the website and just discuss things. So currently, right now, I mean, for people that haven't seen on like social media or anything like that, Craig Williams' new book is going to come out, soonish. The Agora Verses, and I'm extremely excited about this book because he puts a lot of time and effort into writing the manuscripts, and his knowledge is extremely vast in his way to be able to express those very intense Vedic and Sanskrit topics to like kind of somebody that might not know all the fancy words. I think he does a really good job, and his work is just phenomenal. So we do have the Agora Verses coming up, and when you go to the website, anything that's new and fancy is always on the front page.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the Agora Verses. As some of you know, Craig Williams is my yoga teacher, and so all the transformational work that I have done that really expanded my studies in Tantra and Vedic scriptures to help people understand prana and all these other really important things. have come from learning through him. I take classes with him every week, and I have for a long time. And so I'm really excited about this new book in particular because the Agora are so cool, especially for anyone that's interested in the death current.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's so much to it. It's really beautiful, and that's kind of what his work's about. And I've known Craig for quite a few years, so it was, it made sense for me to publish his work because I actually know him not just as the author. Like, Craig's a great person. His practice is phenomenal. He's a great acupuncturist, and so his work fits phenomenally. I would definitely suggest anybody that wants to get into his work. His latest title is also out on the Violet Gateway, Desert Meditations. But also this one will be coming out, within the next few months. I would, if I was going to put a time on it, would be coming out in the next few months. All titles and all that kind of fun stuff can be found in Gateway Publications here with the books and authors. I don't think you can see that because we're covering it, but there's a little drop-down menu here. Big focus on the website is really the classes, outside of the books that I write personally. And, I'm currently the only person that offers classes on the Violet Gateway right now. But classes that I offer are really tightly hinged to my books and the work, and kind of expands even past the books into deeper work. And I figured a good thing to do is kind of go over what all of those kind of are, because it's quite interesting and it'll probably spark a lot of questions with people. The first one you see here is Advanced Psychic Protection. This is it's 4 weeks, and it covers basically all the fundamentals of psychic protection, but everybody starts somewhere else.
And it's one class.
Yeah, it's one class per
week.
Yeah. And the classes are about 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer with question and answers and stuff like that.
And these, just to interrupt you briefly,
please,
for people that are taking a look at this, these are really intensive, advanced one-on-one classes with him. So obviously the cost of that reflects it, but he also does have video classes as well. So if you are interested in these topics, you can also find video classes.
The video classes, yeah. And those are in a different part of the website too, but the weight of the work is really found within the one-on-one classes. And I say that because you're being guided through a process. And because everybody starts somewhere different, let's say you've done 25 years in occult and magical ritual, and you understand psychic development and all that, you're going to start somewhere different than somebody that's new, clearly. So where we go is we kind of take your foundation and be able to see where you're at and be able to build on it. So everybody's so very, very specific in it. But you do learn like kind of gridding techniques of not only like your house, but like your astral sphere, your energetic body, other people in your life, psychic vampirism, how to negate that in a person's life if you're feeling drained or somebody's sucking the life force out of you or whatnot. You know what I mean? So you kind of learn how to navigate through that within your own personal life. And it's something I've done privately with people that I've taken like the other classes, like esoteric mechanics and the letters and the gematria class. But it's now that I'm offering it publicly, I can, talk about it a lot more, but there's a lot to the class that is not even on the surface level. You know what I mean? Intro to Occult Meditation is pretty much a Psych-Alexa, but you're guided through the whole book. So you're guided through the beginning, you're guided through the middle, you're guided through the end of it, and how to apply it to your direct life. And people that have taken this class, they really love that, because there's not a lot of books that you can buy and then be able to go to the author and be like, hey, you can guide me through the whole book. Like, yes, I can read it, but now you can answer my questions. You can tell me and help me with the experiences that I might have with it. So it's very helpful for anybody that takes a Psych-Alexa pretty serious and is into the work to advance themselves past what the words on the pages can talk to you about. So I really like that one, and I suggest anybody that just kind of got into my work, that's really the really good one to take, because it gives the bigger spectrum of all the others.
And a Psych-Alexa is what I guess we could call your foundational text for all of your material.
Yeah.
And it really heavily focuses on how the human energetic fields work from a spiritual perspective and how to apply that in different ways.
Yeah. And it's highly esoteric, so it's all about how we work in meditation and visualization, and to be able to be guided through that process rather than just read the book. It's so helpful because you gain that one-on-one help of not only the video discussions every week, but the the check-ins and the, hey, like, send me your notes, send me the notes throughout the week. I like to see that when I do the classes for people, because it helps me as a guide be able to guide them through their own day, their own life, you know what I mean, really, when they're doing it. So it's very beautiful, and it opens up a lot of people to the reality of where this information is going. So that's what I like about it. Esoteric mechanics, this is really what goes beyond Asaya this is not a book yet. There will be a book that accompanies the class per se, but it's about an advanced meditative ritual that, when we're visualizing and creating within our energetic field, it shifts our psychic awareness and opens up our spiritual field a hell of a lot more. So it has a lot to do with geometry and what we're doing energetically. Tons of meditations like breath work, all that fun stuff. So it's a way for us to harness the energetic body even more.
There's something I want to say about that, but I'm going to step away from the microphone to cough for a second.
Oh, the coughing.
Okay. Now that that's done. So a lot of your work focuses on how to work with the energies of our body and activate visualizations to reprogram your body and your mind.
Yeah.
And so what's really interesting when we look at the way that you have created and curated these different classes is that they build off one another. So people learn about how to work with their energy field, and then you go into ways of accessing hyperspace, other dimensions.
Correct.
But once you've already understood how to work with your own energy, so you can actually handle it and actually get something out of that experience.
And do more out of it, and there's like practical work, it's not just me talking about a subject and academia or anything like that. It's like, okay, how can we get you lucid dreaming consciously? How can we get you dreaming consciously? How can we get you out of body consciously, where you can be like, okay, I'm going to go sit in the chair and I'm going to leave my body for who knows how long. I'm just going to go do it because I know how to disassociate my energetic body from the physical. So really, like at the end of the esoteric mechanics class, it's really like success if you're have been able to do that, and sometimes it takes people more than the 4 weeks, that we go over everything within 4 weeks and we go through the practices, but it's like, you're supposed to continue it, you know what I mean? And when you do that, eventually you do have those experiences, and as long as you meet those kind of benchmark, it's kind of like, that's how you pass the classes. You have those experiences like, wow, I took esoteric mechanics and I did get out of body. I actually had my first fully controllable lucid dream where I was able to do whatever I really wanted to do, and it was wild. And, coming from me, somebody that's, like you, that's had those death experiences, if you teach somebody that they can get out of their body, they are free. That's like real freedom in my eyes. So it's very powerful, and the esoteric mechanics class is like that pivotal moment of being like, okay, I can do these things and I can actually perform these psychic functions, because realistically anybody can do them. I'm just guiding you to show you how to do them, and it's a very fun class. It's a very interactive back and forth, you know what I mean? So it's more based on Asaya mechanics. So it's good to have kind of like what's going on with Asaya and the pineal balancing and making sure that your chakras are working in order and they're aligned and you have a connection with your energetic body. And that's why it comes typically after the intro to occult meditation class. That makes sense.
Yeah. Is everything, how's the chat going? I can't see behind the microphones.
Well, let's see. Light is lost says, I think allowing you to have time with your inner child's energy, but knowing what you need to return back to being an adult abruptly is a great way of practicing with your energy. I agree. I love like inner child healing methods and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes they can be traumatic if there is like pain and, you know, issues in that time period, but being able to like go back in time and visualize yourself in like a state that you remember emotionally, and being able to like see yourself from a third person, like you're watching yourself and the other and the experience, and be able to like talk to yourself in a way to like grow yourself up and be like it's okay, and kind of do that inner child nurturing is super powerful. And it's a big part of release work. You know, if anybody is doing any kind of shadow work or release work, that's a big thing to do, is just go back in your mind or go back in time and kind of bring up the experience in your mind, but again, see it from a third perspective. Let's see. Our dog is excited, of course. He likes it.
Do you want to say,
hi
to the live
everybody?
stream? Everybody, come.
No, he's not on camera.
Here he is.
There he is. There he is. Hi, buddy.
He always wants to say hi to all of you.
And Juno says it's nice to see Orly a bit less professional and so friendly with her funny side.
That's good.
Yes. You know, and that's the thing too. Like, even, you know, it's good that you kind of bring that kind of stuff up, because I'm pretty personable and I'm pretty laid back. So even in the classes, like, even though it's serious work, like there's a lot of fun and a lot of discussion, and it's a good, it's not so uptight, because we're just all people kind of in the same mission together. You know, how do we advance ourselves psychically? How do we advance our energetic bodies, especially in this time where a lot of things like ascension and a very large awakenings happening? It's pretty important.
Yeah, I'm a very serious and like Saturnian person, but also very silly and whimsical at the same time. So I'm glad that I can mix it in. We're just silly.
You know, we're just silly. The next one, the esoteric symbols and alphabet, is really like, we all know as magicians, like the Hebrew alphabets and the Hebrew magic, and, you know, the script of like the Arabic and runes, and, you know, the Enochian alphabet and the witches. I mean, it really goes on of all these quote unquote ciphers or magical alphabets, you know, and they're looked at as very mystical, because like, oh, like John Dee, they came up with this alphabet, it's connected to the angels. How do they do it? Like, why do they do it? Like, why do they connect it to, say, the Hebrew alphabet of the 22 letters versus the Arabic of 28, or even Sanskrit? Or why did they do that? And there's a whole system behind this, no matter what script or language or spirituality that you're practicing, that these letters have come from. You know, so we kind of take a deep dive in comparing similarities between a lot of the abjads, which is like the Aramaic, the Phoenician, the Hebrew, the Arabic, and we go through a very big process of finding our own letters, finding our own script to be able to apply to a very large working magical system of knowing what letters and what energies they are, what planetary constructions they are, what elements they are, etc., and be able to fully like create our cosmological energy within ourselves. And this one comes a bit after esoteric mechanics, because when we get to this, there's a lot of dreaming work and a lot of out of body and a lot of meditative work, that when we go into the astral or into hyperspace, we get to pull these letters or be shown certain letters that are in vibration with our subconscious. So if they're in the vibration of our subconscious, they're going to work better for you than John Dee's or even the runes or something like that. So if they're coming from your own energetic field, they're going to be able to communicate to you, and you're going to be able to perform stronger magic, you know, because if you're using some other person's system that came from their energy body and in their mind, you're not going to have the strongest connection to the energies that are connected to those symbols. So we kind of go through the process of guiding you to find your own, you know, and it's an intense process, but it's the success rate's very, very great. We'll put it that way.
This is also great for people who want to learn just about making sigils
Oh, it's a big
in
part
general
of it.
and
Yeah.
how to make them
Yeah,
for
big part
different
of it.
purposes.
Yeah. And here if you haven't gotten out of body or been able to lucid dream yet, I mean, it's still part of the process. So we still work on that. But if you have, it goes other places. And this is why I say like the classes kind of go where the person's coming from. It's not so much like everybody gets the same guidance, because somebody that's been in it like 35 years is not going to be somebody that's like, oh, what's the tarot, what is meditation, and there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody that's just beginning, they can get great value of learning very deep esoteric concepts, especially if their mind kind of puts it all together. And last class, that's probably the big guy, is the esoteric and gematria magic squares, and it takes everything that we've applied in the last ones, but we get to what I consider like past the imagination. Like sometimes we get to the point where we're meditating, we have these spiritual experiences, and we think to ourselves, oh, was it just imagined? Was it just something in my mind? Was it, we kind of sometimes will doubt ourselves. This is where we move past doubt and find like, oh wow, this is the exacts. I can't argue this because it's showing me it within numbers, within the distillation process, with the letters that are formed, the geometry that's formed. It is massive. And the process of gematria and magic squares, we know the Agrippa, we know what the books of Moses, I think even the book of Abraham Elam, I think they also they're doing squares and stuff like that, but it's basic level. They're showing you a locked square, realistically, just one, like say the Saturn 3x3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's never anything different.
Yeah,
because they
so
don't show you how to do it.
If you've already taken like some class on magic squares, this is way more advanced than the magic squares people typically think of.
Yeah. Unless, and that's the thing. I mean, it's this stuff's been kind of
this
lost,
gets into physics, like the physics of realities and dimensions.
Yep. And when we look at the squares, we're playing with lines of the fabric of reality. I mean, if we look at each square as like a camera lens, pretty much like the camera like you see us on now, depending on its refresh rate, depending on its clarity, it depends on how much of that fabric we're really communicating with. And when we take a intent or a name or something like that, no matter what kind of gematria system we're working with, again, Hebrew, Arabic, runes, Latin, what have you, as long as we know how to work and build and program the squares, we can program the lens and the fabric really to our liking. And there's a lot of information that can be found from them, like the angelic energies, the demonic energies, the shadow formations of the spirit that you're working with, which incense, what colors to use. Everything can be really found out here. And that's why I say it moves us past the imagination point of being like, oh, I feel like the spirit's telling me blue, I should use a blue candle, but is it blue? We always wonder, like, am we really hearing it right? Here we will know the actual, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to actually use a blue candle. I'm actually supposed to use frankincense. Oh, I'm supposed to use these names instead of just calling these names. And we learn how to say the proper names, and it often sounds like you're communicating in tongues. It almost sounds like you're talking tongues, but everything that you're saying is actually numerically sounds so tightly that the tongues become an actual interface between the fabric. And this can go down to like, I need a new job, I want a new car. I mean, there's so many things we can activate within our world with magic and applicable magic. There's a lot of animal going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry for if everyone is like, for those of you who are currently psychoanalyzing us, there's a cat and a dog playing underneath
they
us.
Love
if
each
you see
other
us
so much.
looking down.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. They love each other very much. They're best friends.
But they get so excited and want to play right next to us while we're streaming.
Yeah.
And my cats are behind a gate right over there. And so there's a lot of cats here.
There's a lot of animals.
There's great, a lot of cats.
Sorry for
we
the
have a big dog. I'm so sorry. That is how it is.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Would you guys like to see the cat before we go to the next? Would you like?
You want to show the animals
They've
off?
all seen John's cat. They've all seen yours. I mean, mine. They've all seen my cats,
Oh,
but they've never seen
everybody
your
knows.
cat. This is Sim
Sim.
Sim. Here he is.
Go lay down.
Go lay down.
The cat's name is Sim Sim. It's an Arabic word basically for like sesame, like a sesame seed, because he's like black. And is interesting note that Sim Sim is also a name of a jinn in the Islamic lore. So it's connected to Mars through Sim Sim Yahi or Samuel.
Show his hands. His thumb into hands.
Yeah, cats and dogs living together.
And my cat Marion is in love with him. Mm-hmm. Look at his amazing mutated
He's got 13
hands.
fingers. He's got 7 on one hand and 6 on the other.
Yeah.
Cute.
Marion's boyfriend.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna put him down now. Yeah. And shall we,
buddy?
Shall we show people what else is going on at the Violet Gateway?
Yeah, the cool thing about the classes is this is new, even though it's old. So I used to have an old forum for people that took classes or to ask questions about books and stuff, and it was pretty popular. But I lost it when the old website went down a long time ago, and I was like, I just don't want to. I don't want to do it again. Well, I made another one, and it's for people that are just directly taking one-on-one classes. That way there's more open communication with others that are taking the classes. I post articles in there and techniques and pretty much like all the slides and all the information from the classes. So you have a place to go to and go back to and check out the notes. And it's kind of like if you didn't take the best notes yourself, you have the notes kind of in front of you that I personally took for the classes. So Casting Cauldron says polydactyl. Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
he can open cupboards.
Yeah, he creates a whole fist. Yeah, you can like hold your finger.
He can open drawers and go in them. It's amazing. Yeah,
doors. Yeah, that's the weird part. Any door. So, but that's what's great about the classes. You also get access to that kind of stuff, and albeit it is relatively new now, it's just going to grow, and more and more people are being active on it. So, which is good.
Do you want to show the Gateway Publications tab and what's going on there, like the books and the authors?
Yeah. So books, clearly this is what's in stock right now. And anytime they're out of stock, you just can't add them to the cart, of course. But we have a lot of titles coming out soon. And for the authors section, we have a new one, which is Sri Punanda Nath. Sorry for my speech impediment. Really amazing work. It was absolutely enthralled by his manuscripts and really, really, really good. So I'm excited about his work that's coming out. There'll be more information about it later. We're currently in the designing phases and getting everything rolling, but it is fantastic and pretty groundbreaking. So I hope everybody really loves it.
His work is really innovative and
really
exciting.
Innovative. Yeah,
I was so excited when you were looking at the different works in his CV. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really groundbreaking and it's cutting edge, and it's anybody that knows my energy is pretty fringe and on the outskirts, and it takes the Vedic and tantric spirituality in another phase that's even it's just beautiful. So I'm very glad about that one. That'll be coming out. So he's kind of new to the roster, if you would. Video courses, these are all pre-recorded so far. There are more. I'm just finishing them up. But currently right now we have the album Journey Through the Centers, which is a meditative album that brings you through a bunch of frequencies and vibrational intonations through the chakra system. And it comes with videos and a PDF to follow along with too, like visualizations that where to visualize the color and how to do it.
They are so wild. It tickles your brain. If you have good headphones on, it feels like you've taken some sort of psychedelic almost, like when you're listening to them.
Yeah, it's similar to like the Monroe Institute originals, that we've talked about in the past, where it forces you into a state. So it works really well. I love it. And we've definitely worked with it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Like over the time that you were composing the tracks, I was definitely experiencing journeying through the centers. So that was very true. Oh, hey, the next one has me in it.
Yes. occult meditation class with both me and Orly, which was a wonderful class, and tons of people got great things out of it. And we had great reviews. People were saying that's the best they've felt in a really long time, and doing the techniques, and that they got a ton out of it for information and how they can better meditate, because most people have a problem with meditation, and if you want to say more about it, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I think, don't let the date on there confuse you. It's not just for a date that has passed.
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe we should take that
Maybe we
out
should
of
get rid of
the
it.
description of that. It's a recording
Mhm.
of a workshop that we did, and we will do more workshops coming up soon. But I'm so proud of this workshop that we did. Almost all of my clients come to me wanting help with meditation
Mhm.
for different reasons, to access deeper spiritual avenues, to unlock more of their power, to change their life. And we put together a super comprehensive course that goes through all different kinds of techniques, from my background in Vedic and Tantric studies, and your background in energy work and studying the body, even from a medical perspective. And we put it all together into this occult meditation video class that I feel so strongly that if anyone struggles with meditation, if you take this class, it will change your life.
You'll get a lot out of it.
I feel so strongly about that, and I really can't recommend it enough, especially for anyone that has done all the other video courses on my website. Definitely check out this one if you like my other ones, because this takes all the stuff that you've learned before, and then if you apply these techniques into it, you're going to get an even more profound, deeper, stronger connection to the spirits.
Right. And when we meditate, that's when it allows our energetic bodies to stop hovering. Like we're going throughout the day, and you could say, oh, my mind is like just crazy. I'm always thinking about the laundry, or I'm thinking about the dishes, or I'm thinking about my job, or, there's always the monkey mind is always jumping from all over the place, and it's really because our energetic body is hovering and shifting and moving. And that's why the aura is never one color. If somebody tells you, oh, you have an aura of purple, no, you don't. Your purple might have been there for a second or two. It's constantly moving. Now, if we were in a state of meditation, stopping the hovering and the movement, and the energetic body is becoming balanced, per se, and settling down, then perhaps your aura might be all purple, or but it really goes down to where our emotions and our minds going with the aura. So if we can enter a state of meditation through like the occult meditation stuff, we can stop the hovering of the energetic body and become more aware as psychics, and more aware of our surroundings and internal worlds.
Oh, absolutely. The point of meditation isn't just for you to sit and have experiences during your meditation. It's for you to have control over your mind all the time, and to give yourself a sense of peace and control over your mind, just as you live and go about your day-to-day life, not just in these isolated times we're dedicating to meditation. That's the key behind it, because you're really reprogramming your mind. One of the things that people often get really confused about when they see stuff like the yogis that have spiritual powers and they live in isolation and all these things, like the Bhagavad Gita says that, like if you live a life like that, it does make it easier for you to have those kind of experiences.
100%.
But if you just take the techniques that the yogis teach and apply them in whatever means you can,
it's going to have effect.
Exactly. Whatever you can
No
do,
doubt.
whatever fits in your life.
Yeah. And if you decide that you going to Tibet, or, or India or wherever, and spending time in a mountain for 3 years of meditation, so be it. That's your experience, and that's wonderful. Go do it. But that doesn't mean that we have to, we can do this 5-10 minutes a day to get us right, and start applying not even religious principles, we're just spiritual science.
Which is that our body, our breath, and our
Mhm.
mind are all connected.
Correct. 100%. You know, and when we know how to, when we have control over our mind, control over emotions, control over our physical body, control over everything about ourselves, as selfish as it may sound, there's nothing else externally that control us. We don't got to worry about mind control. We don't got to worry about if people influence our decisions or what we want to do or how we're not following our dreams or doing the things what we want to do. You know, we are in our own power. So it's very important.
Right, exactly. Because what the world is plagued by is a multitude of people that don't know what to do with their life, and they feel very lost and confused and feel like they should have some sense of purpose, but don't know what it is and keep trying to find it in all these different places. This is how you do that, by activating the parts of yourself that are connected to the cosmic mind. And it's not something that you have to apply through any kind of religious lens at all, because it's literally like the science of our energy and how it works.
Yeah, you can call whatever that source is, really whatever you want that's connected to you. You know. We have a comment here in the chats. It's pretty cool. Goldcat says, my grandma used to draw people's auras. I think she used to say that we have many different light bodies layered on top of each other. Goldcat, that is correct. There are many levels, you know, and you'll hear tons of different systems. You're like, oh, you have 16 layer dimensional auric field and all these things. We have to think kind of mathematically. We know that, you know, we at least have 7 because of the 7 chakras, but in my work, in my studies, there's definitely at least 9 that's going to be the totality of it, you know. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the chakras, the energetic body, or even the angelic hierarchy in my books and classes. Is these are vibrational levels that our own vibrational levels are also experiencing on, you know. So people go, oh, do I have a demonic self? Sure, you do. Yeah. Do you have an angelic self? Yeah, you do. Do you have an ET self? Sure, you do. Do you have another person that's working, you know, picking berries and owning a farm somewhere and living a recluse life? Maybe, you know, and it depends on the person's energy. And because our energy and our soul is so vast, those layers of our energetic body is really the totality of the experience of the soul. Even though we're here right now, we're consciously experiencing right now, it doesn't mean that our subconscious and our superconscious minds aren't experiencing the totality of it. So it's really good that you bring that up.
That's amazing that she drew people's auras.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
I love that.
Were they young comment in the thing too? I mean, were they all one color, or were they kind of like, I'm seeing like watercolor almost, like she was depicting like kind of like a watercolor formation. So I'm curious on how she did it. Chris Stewart says, what does Kundalini energy do for you? Well, it can either mess you up real bad, give you some really good enlightenment, or it can also just be a thing that people think they're going through when they're not. So I feel that when Kundalini came from the east to the west, things like Kundalini yoga and a lot of the Kundalini teaches are now you have, you know, your soccer mom going on Sunday being like, oh, I'm doing my Kundalini yoga and I'm activating Kundalini and that's why I'm absolutely nuts. And it's a real thing.
If your Kundalini is actually activated, it's rare and it's not going to do something bad to you. And you will see everything in a different way, in a deeper, more profound way. And everything will also be better from it. It doesn't cause mania. Like when people think they've done, people have done something to themselves, but 100%. Kundalini activation is 100% a good thing, but also very rare.
Very rare. Yeah. And it can be really dangerous. I used to spend a lot of time in various ashrams and temples, and you know, I had a friend that was going through a pretty hardcore Kundalini activation, and he was being led by his guru to be able to go through the system to be able to cleanse it out. And his was stuck at the higher centers, you know, and he was really struggling with it for years. And I remember he came out of meditation. This was after like 15 hours. We all kind of came out of meditation weirdly at the same time, and we wanted to eat, and came out and he's like, John, he goes, the blue light is so close. He goes, I'm just there. I'm almost there. I knew what he was talking about within the Kundalini rising within his system. And, you know, it's a journey. It's not something that's just going to boom, happen one day. And you're like, oh, I'm enlightened. And usually people that have gone through Kundalini, their whole life changes. You can be a person at a bank one day, you know, eating pizza every day and having a family of 5 and just being a normal thing. And then all of a sudden this happens, this activates, and you're not the same the next day. Like,
right. That's what we mean
none
by
of that exists.
There's a difference between saying like something is bad for you versus something is dangerous. Just like knowledge is dangerous because then you're going to see the world in a different way.
Yeah.
For example, and that is hard for people to deal with often. Yeah.
Cool. Go Cat says, yeah, she used watercolor. Wonderful. That's what I thought. That's a beautiful way to do it, because that's what an aura looks like. And I feel like anybody that has actually have seen an aura, they don't look like
it blends.
It blends.
Yeah.
It's like it's beautiful, you know. So it's really cool. So cool. And yeah, last kind of video class is the Ascension Mechanics workshop that I did at the beginning of 2024. I think it was in February, and it worked really well. I had some people in it that were that actually utilized my these methods in their like physical practice as like hands-on healers or psychotherapists and stuff like that were also in the class. And we go through a lot of the energetic mechanics like we do in, you know, Asai Kaluxa, but we go into how they kind of relate more to our energetic bodies, like we were talking about, but also how those energetic bodies connect to the main endocrine system of the physical body, like the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, the hypothalamus, the thyroid gland. You know, when we're getting into these other types of glands connected to our central nervous system, we can then better understand what's happening to our energy, which is usually electrical in nature, connecting to our central nervous system, which is picking up on all that electrical energy anyway. It's the driving force of our body. So when we know these
you guys,
things,
stop playing next to me. It's so distracting. I'm sorry, everyone. Go out in the hallway.
the cat hurt the dog. Quite funny.
Go.
But yeah, when we know those things, we can, you know, better in tune again with our energetic body. So it's really great.
Goodbye.
They're
fine.
They're gonna continue their shenanigans
Without
out there.
distracting me. They were like playing at each other like under my literal chair. So
yeah, of course they have to. But that's what that class is about, is the our relation to the energetic bodies and the endocrine system and our central nervous system. And this is from a very large background in research and study and development in the field of kinesiology and exercise science also, where a lot of the methods and a lot of the things that I talk about in this class were used to train actual athletes in a training facility. That was run by a person that used to be in the NFL, actually. And I'm not going to say his name because he prefers not to be known anymore. But he used to work in the NFL, and he was a football player and started his own fitness center, if you would. And he brought me on as not only being part of his programming, but also his rehabilitation program with meditation and enhancing the athletic performance and mental performance through meditation. So a lot of the things we talk about in that class also end up being brought up in there. So it's beautiful. And check the chats quick.
Yep.
They're still going on and out outside the door. Cool. You see anything?
Nope.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, and you know, the classes are really the big things that people get a lot of classes. Yes, the books are wonderful too, but you know, this is more of that direct, you know, and one-on-one stuff. It's really important. And of course, services. I typically do consultations, health consultations, dream analysis. This is I just analyze your dream and we have a quick discussion about it. The big one comes from the frequency scan. This is a very deep reading that's done by really an advanced form of remote viewing, which I do explain somewhat in the process when I do the reading for you. This pretty much takes your name, and the reason why I call it a name analysis, because it's not just your name that allows me to connect. That's kind of like me, you know, if I was physically there, being able to like touch your head or something like that and connect to you, you know, so I need that hinging point there. But the rest of it is typically done through numerical analysis and automatic writing techniques and remote viewing. And it's a very deep reading. It's several pages long. There's a lot to it. And a lot of interesting information is usually discovered, So I have a lot of people that want to do this reading because it's they think they're going to get past life stuff, and it's sometimes a thing that does come up if it's pertinent to the person, but it's not it's not something to go into if you just want past life stuff. This is how our consciousness currently is interacting with our lives, and sometimes our past lives are also affecting that. So if they do come up, they come up. But this is a very deep reading, and it reads you on a conscious level, a subconscious level, and then a super conscious level. So a very far removed level as well. Yeah. And of course, the blogs, which is wonderful. Tons of information and writings and all that kind of stuff. The new one, Magic Squares of Mercury and the Sun. If anybody likes to kind of delve into the squares and the letters, this is a very good expose on what you can, kind of do with it on a surface level. And of course, our ritual items. The rug we put together.
A rug.
Yeah.
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 A really cool protection circle rug that we illustrated together.
Yeah. And the malls are still, I got to make more. they were more popular than I, was expecting at the time. So I will be making more of those than.
There's still some that are available,
there's still
right?
some left. Yeah, for sure. But I'm feeling that urge again. It's got to be done again. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. And that's pretty much the website.
Oh, there's also the shirts you designed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then apparel, and they're really cool designs. We have them all. We wear them. I'm sure you see me wear them. It's weird wearing your own stuff like a public billboard, but they're really beautiful shirts. They're comfortable. It's not like a screen print. It's not, you know what I mean? It's
nicely
not that
on there.
Yeah,
I buy
they're
a
part
lot
of the
of
material.
T-shirts. So I really like them.
Yeah.
They're soft. Look at the soft kind.
Yeah, they're not stiff.
They're not like those like crunchy T-shirts. These are like the ones that were the screen print is like part of the shirt.
Casting Calderon asks, "What is Project Stargate?" My guides led me to watch the movie, and I've always had curiosity about that. And I'm assuming you're talking about my the article here of Project Stargate. And I'll pull it up on the screen a little bit. But this is a real program. I mean, this is out there. They tell you about it. They're like, hey, we did this stuff, but it has a lot to do with remote viewing and psychic advancement, and kind of how this, quote unquote phenomena has become very pivotal in their science and technological research over the years. And it was basically like the remote viewing program that was popularized. If you go in and watch the movie Men Who Stare at Goats, they were trying to, touch at these projects and stuff about remote viewing and remote influencing at a distance. But there's other like MK Often and other programs that came out of this that are not talked about too often. No pun intended. But there's a hell of a lot more than that for sure. Yeah. And that's everything.
There's a lot going on in those articles.
There's a lot going on.
And you post a lot of
I do.
them.
And I don't always tell publicly too that, hey, this is posted, because I try to keep up on it. And
there's a mailing list though that they can sign up
list.
for if you want to read the blogs when they come out. Very controversial subjects, but informative.
Yep. So, and I kind of use it as an outlet of writings and ideas and information that I'm not putting in a book. So I use that article section of the Gateway as like, hey, this is, other things. I'm hoping as we grow, as the Violet Gateway grows, that I'll be able to have other people also be able to create their articles and create a bigger volume of work and work that's just public that people can read and get tons of stuff from. That's really the vision of that section. So.
Definitely check out his website, especially if you've never been there before. There's so much going on, and I think you're so amazing.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. And I think that everyone can really learn from his work, and that's why I am happy to help him edit books from his writing and all the stuff that we do together. And I've collaborated with you on a few things on your website.
Yeah.
So people can find more stuff from me too on there. So that's good. If you want all that stuff, especially like that occult meditation video course. I think everyone watching could benefit from that.
For sure. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, we even had some people that took it that were, you know, they've done meditation for years and occult work for years, and like, man, this is the best I've felt in a long time. So it's really cool. Reaver here says, much can go wrong exploring your past selves. Your past self can take control of your main personality, for instance. 100%. Sometimes I don't even like bringing up past lives to somebody, because imagine if you were like a horrible person in your past life, like you were doing really bad things, and in this life you're really good, you know, like you're doing things, and all of a sudden you learn that you were this thing in your past life that was just monster. How is that going to do any good to your current experience? Like your new experience or your new incarnation is for you to learn, to grow, to process, to move on, and gain experience for whatever we want to call the creation or the creator. It's experiencing through us. So the hinging on a past life can completely override the personality structure that's currently incarnated.
Yeah, and that's also why people don't usually have access to that kind of information.
And you know, people that think they're star seeds and stuff, is that stuff real? Yeah, it is real, but as
you
much
can't
as
let it
you can't
control you and take over your life.
You're not a Syrian. Your soul might have been a Syrian, but you're a human on Earth.
You're having a unique experience right now for a reason, and so it's important to live presently.
And if you remember those things, remember the knowledge and the skills and the intelligence that you had, and apply it to your experience. And that's really what happens when you find out a past life, where you start hinging on a past life and memories about them. It's really the knowledge and the gnosis that we've had from that incarnation that we really should retain and keep going with, you know?
Absolutely.
Chris Stewart asks, any musical tunings that are magical? Y'all know. I think all musical tunings are magical, because it's frequency and tone, and how it's making you feel is how it's making you feel. But I love F sharp minor. I can sit and write music in F sharp minor all day long. It's beautifully, depressingly beautiful, but it's very pretty. F sharp minor. I'd sit there and play a piano F sharp minor things all day long. Like, why is that so hauntingly beautiful?
Thanks so much to everyone who came today to hang out with us and to explore the Violet Gateway. It is very exciting, and you're working on so many new projects. There's so many books coming out this year. There's
lots.
We have secret plans of stuff that I'm gonna do. So it's good. We have all kinds of fun.
Yeah, you know, and it's all the stuff and what you're working on is amazing too. You know what I mean? And it's like everything that's coming out is really good, and we're really focused on our own craft. And I'm personally very happy that the Violet Gateway has been able to expand to other authors and other people's perspectives and ideas, but yet it all is still kind of this.
And like
sphere.
The way that you went about having other people come to you was sort of like very special. It's not like you have some thing where you're looking for people to apply, because you're good with right now.
Yeah.
Like the universe kind of makes it all happen in certain ways, in a mysterious way, where it brings people to you.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. But
you know, and we like, I personally like, you know, accreditation. Like I'm, you know, outside of spiritual practice and occult practice, you know, I have a degree in kinesiology. I've worked in the medical field.
So you work with people that are already established in their field, people that already are authors, people that already have been writing books and practicing for a long time.
Yeah. And if it's valuable information, if it's like, wow, I read this and I got something out of it, or wow, this made me feel my feelers here, you know, and that's really powerful information. And I really feel that the spiritual world and the spiritual communities, it's so flooded and diluted with, you know, almost the same information over and over and over and over and over again. It becomes purple monkey dishwater at the end of it, and nothing ever is.
It's kind of like at this point, everyone feels like they have their grimoire about demons and their gnosis from that they want to write books about, and like we're not doing that.
No, this is practical stuff, you know. And I know that even Craig's books, my books, you know, even the stuff that you're working on, it's very practical. How can we do the things? You know, how can we do the things? I know Azazel can do the things. I know Anubis can do the things.
Right. We're not asking spirits to do things for us. We're training ourselves on how to do the things.
Correct. And they're helpers. Don't get me wrong, they're helpers.
Yeah, no, we still love
companionships.
Them. Like, yeah, it's just a different. It's a different dynamic that teaches 100%. You about your own body and the power that has. Remember, so that's the big focus.
Walk amongst the gods. Don't just bow before them. You know, that's how I was always told through my context, was you have to walk amongst the gods, not just bow before them. So that actually came from feeling like I had to bow during a manifestation. Like, nah, you know, like, okay. But it's very powerful for sure. Yeah, somebody got the Simpsons. Oh, yay. Yes, purple monkey dishwasher. It's what it ends up being at the end, you know, and you can study all the old grimoires and, you know, the you know, the Agrippa and all the Solomonic magic and stuff. And the real stuff is not really talked about unless it's verbal, one-on-one. And, you know, the old books on the subjects are long gone and burned. And I feel it's just very watered down now, as possibly unpopular of opinion that is. But I feel blessed and honored that we have, you know, stuff like this going on at the Violet Gateway, that it's really, really good material and groundbreaking text.
And I think a good way of gauging any kind of spiritual system is like, how healthy are people overall that are doing this? And let that be your guide, because obviously someone that is overall healthier is having a better experience of living than someone that is not healthy in various ways, be that mentally ill, physically ill, so stressed they can't do anything. And so many people have that. So like when we work with our own energies and understand them, we can take control back over our bodies and our life. And that's why I really am so passionate about what you and the other people are doing. It's really great.
It is. Yeah. And it's, you know, I'm always open for people to send in manuscripts and stuff, but I am very honest. And if it doesn't fit with the overall energy of, you know, are you teaching actual methods and all that kind of stuff, it's just, you know, that's where our focus is on, you know, is that the practical applicable science,
not invent methods that you have invented.
No, not so much. I mean, gnosis is gnosis. I mean, Psych has tons of gnosis,
right? But yours has a medical background, and it has an actual background in something. What I'm saying is, like, what most of what we have now, and I've been working in, like, as an editor in occult publishing for so long, a lot of it is like people's personal gnosis, which is like great for you to have, like that's really good, but that doesn't really give that helpful to other people because that's yours. And so, yeah,
100%.
But yeah, definitely check out his work. It's very groundbreaking, and you're going to learn a lot, even just from looking at all of the different things that you do. It can help people understand more about your perspective in the occult sciences.
Yeah. You know, it's not religion, you know, I might talk about angels and demons and all those things and ETs, but it's not religion. These are just energies that affect us as humans and our consciousness. And how can we explore that, you know? And the yogis have been doing it for years, and Tibetan monks have been doing it forever, you know, that monk that's leaving his body and leaving forever, and then they find him in basically looking like a cocoon in a cave, and they're like, he's still alive. You know, it's like, yeah, he is still alive, but he's not there. His energetic body's long gone. He'll come back to it. Leave it alone. You know, and there's very real realities of those things. Reminds me of the old Spirit Box and Solomon's Seal. Justman says Spirit Box is also a really good band. If you guys have never checked them out, if you like metal music, yeah, it's what made me think. I was like, oh, Spirit Box, yeah, cool. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add and discuss or talk about?
Thanks for sharing your website with everybody
Yeah,
today.
there's a lot on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for giving me the moment to do so.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Please check out his website. If you want to reach me, all my stuff's linked below. Mm-hmm. If you are new, please hit subscribe to help this channel grow, and hit the like button to help us with the algorithm. Please check out the other videos too to keep up to date. Thank you so much to the channel members and our patrons. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. And take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.